But I do think you could maybe just play creatures, and I think Aluren actually is definitely powerful enough as a magic card here. Unfortunate. No lands. Yeah, this hand is fine. I mean, it's not the strongest thing we've ever done in our lives, but I can get down. So the question ends up becoming, am I greedy in getting rid of this island? I don't think so. I want to just, like, get a Bayou, play a Veteran Explorer. Village Right's my Veteran Explorer. Maybe I am greedy and if I want to pitch this island. We're just so close to, like, the value train. And if we draw 2 cards and we get 2 lands, maybe I should just pitch the... No, the Baleful Strix should be castable too if we lose, like, if we didn't draw a Veteran Explorer. I don't know. Fuck it, let's try. Max Greed play. I'm gonna get a Bayou, and then we're gonna hope it doesn't get wastelanded. Obviously a stretch, but what can we do? Play good cards? Come on now. Have multiple lands? Unlikely. I guess if this just gets forced, we look really silly for pitching that island and not anything else in our hand. I guess if we got forced or we got wastelanded, those both put us in situations where we're like, damn, Justin, what about that island, though? Alright, I guess we have to beat a Bazaar somehow. Our deck does not do a great job of beating Bazaar in game 1. Game 2, you get to play 4 Surgical Extraction, 4 Stormcaller, which can be pretty nice. But we do have Aluren backdoor combos, and this is a pretty good hand to do so. Interesting. Not exactly what we're looking for in this situation. I hope our Village Rights does not get negated or anything, but at the very least, we can get Island Swamp so that we can Baleful Strix. I guess, do we get Island Swamp to Baleful Strix? Yeah, I feel like we have to get Island Swamp to Baleful Strix. Even though we need another... Oh, we just get to... Okay, alright. I think Island Swamp makes the most sense. See if this Village Rights resolves. Do we still have a land drop? Okay, alright. Obviously, more Explorers. Not ideal. That's not a very good card in this matchup. Alright, well, if opponent's 7-card Bazaar hand has no unmasks, no Force of Negations, no Force of Vigors, and no Force of Wills, maybe we get to play Magic. Oh, never mind, we're getting Therapied. I feel like there's just no way we resolve our Aluren. Alright, if they only hit 1 therapy, what's the likelihood they name Aluren? I mean, come on now. Ooh, a negation, a will, and a Mindbreak Trap. Okay. Alright, opponent. Show me your chops. I think opponent should still probably name Force of Will here, even if they know what deck we're playing. Well, maybe not. I guess if they know what deck we're playing out on Aluren, it's a pretty reasonable name. You have to understand, chat. When I play against somebody in a vintage league, a lot of the time they follow me on Twitter and they know. Okay, they named Village Rights. Sweet. That's a miss. I don't hate that. Alright, okay. So, a cool thing is we can block with our Veteran Explorer. We can play the ground game. I guess we could Abrupt Decay our Veteran Explorer too if we really wanted to. Alright, I'm looking for... I mean, I don't even really want a Force of Will because I don't really want to pitch my Baron. I mean, we have Village Rights and Cabal Therapy. Okay. Oh, this is sick. This is super sick. So now I can name Force of Will and then name another card, get my 2 basics, cast Aluren, we're going off. That was a great draw. So I can't name all three. I can't name all three. I can only name two. I can't name all four. I can only name two. So there's Force of Will, Force of Negation, Mind Break Trap, and Force of Vigor. And I can't name them all. So I think we start... I mean, if they had a negation, they would have negated this therapy. Easy, cut and done. So they don't think they have a negation. So let's start with Force of Will. And then we'll name Vigor if we see their hand. Alright, it was Will and Vigor. Perfect. I do enjoy playing therapy. It's a really fun card. I also get to take all their bridges by sacking my Veteran Explorer. Man, maybe we can beat Bazaar. Are we just going to Value Town versus Bazaar here? You'll love to see it. Alright, so what kind of lands do I get? Does it matter? Green, blue, maybe? Black, green, maybe? Maybe black, green. Oh, I already have black, green, so I guess it's just green, blue. Alright, so now I take Vigor. Dismiss all. They probably should have Force of Willed my therapy. I think I still would have named Vigor on the second one, just based on our logic and reasoning. Oh, they're gonna respond by Vigoring my Strix, which is a good play. Because now I can't bounce my Strix back with my Baron. Huh. I guess they saw my hand off of their therapy, so they do know I have Baron. Interesting. A nice play. A nice play. Okay. So I got rid of their hand, so now I have no idea what the rest of the cards in their hand were. Does anyone know what the other cards in there? Does it say? I preemptively closed... Okay, Stinkweed Imp, Bazaar of Baghdad, There's a Bazaar of Baghdad? Shambling Shell, Force of Will, Narcomoeba. So there's a Narcomoeba that I could discard if I wanted to. Alright, I guess we hit Narcomoeba then. I mean, it doesn't really matter, to be honest, but... Alright, this is gonna be tough for us still, because we lost our value engine here. At the beginning of if a permanent was put into hand from the battlefield, this turn draw a card. So at the very least here, we get to bounce one of their tokens, and... Or do we want to bounce the Amalgam? I just want to bounce one of their tokens. Bouncing Explorer doesn't do anything, right? Beginning of your end step, if a permanent was put into your hand. Oh, sorry, we're definitely bouncing Explorer. My bad. I thought this draw was for anything, but this draw is only for if we play a spell, so we're definitely doing that. This is my first time ever casting this card. Please excuse me. And we can just cast this at any time, so... Let's just... Alright, well, we drew a card. We need a little help. Like a... Oh, they just cast a Stinkweed Imp. Huh. I guess we should have taken the... Well, I guess they would have cast the Narcomoeba too. I did forget about that. Not a good draw. Alright, well, I think we'd lose... I think we lose, chat. Because opponent gets to do 2 Bazaar activations this turn. I think we were winning this game if opponent didn't have a second Bazaar in their hand. But the second Bazaar is going to be a problem. Second Bazaar is going to be a very big issue. Oh, they got rid of their Bazaar. What the fuck? Why? Why? Opponent, why? Why would you do such a thing? I mean, good for us. Alright, I'm gonna flash in a Veteran Explorer. And then I'm gonna block here, and... So the only way I'm gonna be able to draw an extra card is if I draw Cavern Harpy, right? I do kind of want to draw Cavern Harpy, but... Yo, thanks, Potato. Appreciate that. I guess we can leave this Baron for a turn,
3-month
and...
streak means we probably have a rematch coming
Wait a second, how
soon.
many...
Rip
they
your
have a
luck.
bridge, so this is block is bad. So what I should do... How do I reset blocker? Okay, I'm going to block here, because it saves the same amount of damage, but it triggers the bridges for me. If I take 3, 5, 7, 8, and I get one more basic, or two more basics. I think it's two more basics, a blue and a green. All right. We need to draw spells. If we draw an ancestral or a village rites, that's another good reason to leave one creature back, is in case we draw village rites. A Baleful Strix is good. Demonic Tutor is obviously fantastic. Demonic Tutor gives us Cavern Harpy, which I don't know, is probably good enough to win, right? You just bounce all of their creatures to their... I guess they replay these creatures, so it doesn't exactly help, but then you bounce them again. But you only have 7 life to use. I don't know. We need to draw like a draw spell though. It's just not a good card. Yeah, this deck is just a value deck. That's why I said it's pretty hard to beat Dredge in game 1. Yeah, we drew 2 cards and neither of them were things that mattered. I guess the opponent's play of Vigoring the... Yeah, but you can bounce them in their attacking phase. Opponent's play of Vigoring our Baleful Strix was, like, really good. Yeah, that card's not going to do it. That card would have done it. Yeah. Kind of unfortunate. So here we get to bring in 4 Surgical Extraction, which is lit, and Veil of Summer. And we want to take out... What do we want to take out? I do want to learn, because I do want a combo. We want to take out Abrupt Decay. We probably want to take out some number of Therapy. Therapy typically not very good against Dredge. Do we really want Veil? I think so. Maybe not. Maybe it's not necessary. Alright, let's try this. Alright, interesting game. We almost came out of that one alive. Here we have no blue sources, so no bueno. I really need one of my surgicals in my opening hand, but I guess this one lets me dig pretty deep. I'm pretty much just like 100% to look for a surgical. Opponents on 5 cards and 2 powders, so they kept their 5-card hand with a powder. I can keep 2 cards if I find one. Like, even though this hand here has... I mean, there's a lot of upside to keeping this and going turn 2 Strix, turn 2 turn 3 Stormcaller double rights. Yo, not me and Pizza. Appreciate the subs. You're powerful wizards. Enjoy the emotes. Oh no, what we're capitalizing on this in this deck is like Ancestral and Time Walk with our Stormcaller, as well as like Black Lotus Aluren is obviously a very powerful play. Land Lotus Aluren, quite powerful. I'm gonna shuffle this because I really think we need a Surgical Extraction. That's a Surgical Extraction, technically. I really need 2 surgical extractions, or like a Stormcaller surgical extraction, but... Therapy, Icarid, Narcomoeba? We should be able to beat a hollow one on the ground. I'm not concerned about 1 hollow one on the ground. Aluren. So now I can demonic for a Lotus, but I don't have any creatures, so it's probably not really a value play. Is it really worth it to demonic for a surgical, though? It's kind of a lot to ask. It's kind of a hard sell. I like that this deck can break bridges in a lot of ways. Maybe we just want... If we didn't have an island, Veteran Explorer Village Rites is pretty good. We could just get Ancestral. That's gotta be the best play. Opponent has no Dredgers right now. Just gonna get an Ancestral Recall. I guess they could Therapy their... They're not gonna Therapy Recall. It seems like that would be asking for a lot. No activation in upkeep means they probably have forces, is what they're holding on to. Okay. I'm gonna play around negation, I think, by ancestraling on their turn. Okay. I guess they could have creatures that they want to cast off Aluren. I'm not 100% sure what's going on, to be perfectly honest. But our Baleful Strix matches up pretty well against Hollow One. Obviously doesn't match up great against Force of Vigor. They have 2 Bazaars, but they're not just activating them? Opponent is making very interesting decisions, and I don't really understand. I should not have done that. I was in their main phase still. Alright. Well, pretty sure I should just play this Aluren with double force backup while we still have a chance. I don't really want opponent to activate these Bazaars, though. If opponent is going to pass back and not activate the Bazaars, I mean, I'm pretty into that. And I don't really want them to do it. I don't know. I feel like if I, like, take their 2 forces out of their hand, then they're just going to activate 2 Bazaars at the end of the turn and kill me. Which I don't want to happen. What if I just go, like, Baleful Strix to start here? Like, that's gotta be better, right? What if we just start with Baleful Strix? What if we start with Time Walk and then cast Baleful Strix? No, that's gotta be worse than, like, having Village Rites up. I don't want them to force and activate these Bazaars, though. Like, it's totally wrong. I really don't think it's correct to, like, hold up double force when you can just have be Bazaring for 4. But... I wish I had some instant speed plays to make. I'm going to try to cast this Strix, I think. They have to force it because they're hollow. They don't have to force it, I guess. Alright, I really don't understand. What the fuck am I supposed to do here? Alright, I'm going to Time Walk. This is all fine? They must have double Force of Vigor? Wait, True Surgical! Beautiful! Okay. So, where do I go from here? Maybe we're just casting Village Rites? I don't really care about the hollow one if I draw 2 cards, right? Maybe that's asking for a lot. I don't know. Well, like, playing Aluren is really stupid because how many creatures? I need creatures. Give me creatures. Ah! I think I'm supposed to like keep casting preordains, but it feels really weird. These cards are all garbage. Holy crap! All of my cards are horrible. All right, well, I think I fucked up, chat. I don't really know what I did. Oh, now we're activating? Let's find out what they had, I guess. Narcomoeba, Amalgam, Stinkweed Imp. If they go for an activation here, I might take Stinkweed Imps. It was double Force of Vigor. It was double Force of Vigor. Alright, that makes sense. I don't think it's right, but it makes sense. So now they get to draw and discard down to 2 cards. So they're going to have Force of Vigor probably. I just need to draw dudes. What do you want from me? There are dudes in my deck, I swear. We've gone through 23 cards and we found 1 dude. Oh, they pitched. Okay, so they have Vigor, and no Dredgers. So this works super well for us. Alright, I guess we can go to 2 from Icarids, and then we... Alright, they found a Dredger. Alright, we could die here. If they dredge into if we dredge into a Creeping Chill, we were gonna die. Alright, well, unfortunately all my forces went to waste. Yeah, think about if we drew an Uro. It would be so good. Obviously now it's going to be way worse because we don't have enough mana to actively do enough things with it, but... we actually just stranded all of our Force of Wills because we just never had a chance to use them. Because I just didn't find anything. I bottomed so many cards. They're going to name Aluren or Force of Will here too, so I have to force this. Go to 1. Can't use my fetch, which I don't really want to use anyways. Alright, I have to kill them this turn. Really sad. Really super sad. I drew the fucking 3rd Aluren! Ah! This game's awful. I even in demonic for Ancestral. This is about how I've been running since we won that big event. I don't even get to see the next card. All right. Fair. Like, I don't think our Dredge matchup is great, but come on now. Bro, we cast 2 Preordains, Ancestral, and Demonic in that game. Like, it's not like the cards I bottomed were bad. I bottomed Black Lotus and Emerald. It was just it was too late for Black Lotus and Emerald. It's not like I put too many lands in the deck. I don't know, man. I don't know, man. Yikes. I mean, we didn't have that many good cards, but like... This is what I was saying, though. It's kind of hard to balance your creature count and your spell count. But I mean, like, what about drawing that? Or that? Not that. That would have been bad. But like Baleful Strix? Great draw. Why not draw Baleful Strix? I don't know. Like, we don't have a lot of creatures in our deck, but I mean, we have... Not all of them are good. 16 creatures. 17 spells. And then these cards. I mean, that's what it looks like, but like a lot of thought went into the 5 cards, okay? Like, you have to do some thinking when you port Legacy decks into Vintage, because you have to play against completely different strategies. Like, the biggest problem with this deck is that the Stormcallers are in it, which is the most unfortunate part about it. I really just think that the Stormcaller stretches you in too many different directions. Like, I think that this deck has a better chance of actually being good, because this deck, you have a focus, right? Like, you're doing the creature thing and you're comboing. And you still have a Stormcaller, because obviously it's a good Magic the Gathering card and you kind of want it. But this deck makes more sense, I think. I mean, we had like 8 lands in that game. I don't really know if we want more lands. I feel like every game we have plenty of lands. Don't really think lands are the problem. This deck needs more lands. I haven't figured out how to make the mana base work. Somehow playing 4 colors and Icefang Coatl with no Astrolabes just doesn't exactly work. But I don't want to play Astrolabe. If that means that I have to switch back to Baleful Strixes, then I have to think about like the white inclusion in this deck and if it's actually reasonable. Which I would lean towards it's not. All 3? I mean, DRXs definitely help. But like maybe like my mana base is completely different for the white is like super important because it makes you actually fucking do something. like I'm just playing a value bug deck. No, you guys are wrong. You guys are wrong. You want the white in your deck. It's the kind of the best part. Trust me. Like, casting Recruiter off of Aluren is actually the thing you want to do. Because it actually makes your deck work. That's what I learned. Like, this is the first version of the deck that I played. This is like Stormcaller, Village Rites, Therapy, and white. No, like, yeah, we can cut Lavinia if we're not hard white. But Lavinia is really fucking good. So, kind of feels weird. I mean, I don't need space. I've packed all the things that I want into my deck. I'm just trying to figure out the mana base, which I can't figure out. I am still waiting on this queue, by the way. I don't know. Like, I actually think that you want to be doing the white splash right here, because I think that this white splash is good. And I think you're allowed to play Lavinias because you actually have this, like, semi-reasonable thing to do with your extra Lavinias, which I really like. But a cool part about the original list was you got to play an Academy Rector, which I thought was really sweet. But also kind of bad. So it's not uncastable. Like, you're playing Deathray Shaman. So you probably play Deathray Shaman in 1 fetch. But that's what I was trying to do here. I was trying to make Bant. But it turns out, like, you're not really Bant because, like, you have Deathray Shaman, you might as well be black, right? Yeah. I mean, this was your Stormcaller list that I just changed. And I really agree with you. I think the Stormcallers are just not very good. As much as I really like doing the Stormcaller things, but I don't know what it's called, a Nambi or something, a Nyambi. It's one of your bounce combo pieces, but it also has like discard a legend, draw 2, which I think is really cool. Anyways, we can think about it more later. I think that